Are you bringing your absolute best to the table? Often find that bitterness, resentment, jealousy, negative comments, all that kind of stuff comes from the knowledge that you aren't leaving it all out there. That you aren't doing the work. That you aren't willing to, implement what you know needs to be done. At its most basic level, most people know what is required. Most people know what is necessary, what needs to be done to some extent. If we're talking health and fitness, if we're talking, getting rid of those man tits, that saggy stomach, that embarrassment when you look in the mirror, if we are talking about that, you know the basics. You know at bare minimum that you need to stop stuffing your face, that you need to stop eating the junk food, that you need to stop giving in to the temptation of shit that is easy in the moment, that you need to get off your ass and start doing some form of exercise. You know that. You know that if you ate better food, if you did more work, things would get fucking better. Sure, we could get into the nuances of it all. We could get into the protein levels. We could get into the specifics of exercise. We could get into how to structure all those. We could get into, and I could give you my exact plan and what I do daily. But we know that at bare minimum, where to start. We know where we could begin. We know, the things that would get some form of results happening. You know what the easiest results are? You know where the quickest results are? It's when you first begin. Because, your body's like, holy shit, what the fuck are you doing to us? Because you haven't been doing anything. When you go from zero to anything, lo and behold, results start flowing. Lo and behold, things start changing. And you could be on the worst program under the sun and get results initially. And that's why so frequently these programs, those quick fix programs, the 30-day, 60-day, 90-day quick fix programs that are just designed as exactly that, don't fucking last. Because, the results aren't coming from actually being a good program. The results aren't coming from it being a good, structured system. The results are coming from, you used to do fucking nothing, and now you're doing something. So results happen. But that's why most people plateau out. That's why most people reach a point and they're like, it stopped working, so I gave up. Well, there are many, many fucking reasons for that. It can be that, you stopped progressing. This is one of the big ones I see. And we had this discussion the other day about how when really overweight people start doing anything, even just going for a walk, they see results. But that plateaus out really quickly. The reason why it plateaus out so quickly is, one, it's not being progressed. Two, they're getting fitter, stronger, healthier. Three, they're losing weight, and so the walk itself is actually getting easier. No, you need to keep progressing. You need to keep pushing forward. You need to keep doing work. You need to keep striving and struggling and doing the work that is difficult. You need to keep pushing yourself every day, not just from the physical component, but the mental component. You need to strive to get fucking better. And then on top of that, they just slack off. They're like, this is good. And they keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Your body adapts to that. Your body gets used to that. People don't realize that a large majority of getting results in the gym comes from the mental capacity. It comes from the ability to do fucking work. The ability to push your body beyond what it's capable of. A lot of the times I find people who are coming in, and this applies to some of my clients, and I have to push them, and I have to push them, and I have to push them. And look, I've gotten fucking excellent at it from, 12 years owning my gym, the 18 years of training people, of knowing when people have more in the tank. But if I go, let's do 5 reps, they do 5 reps and then they rest. And if I try and be like, well, push to failure, they have no concept of this. But this is where you get the true results. If you can figure it the fuck out, how to push your body and grind out every fucking inch of power, every muscle fiber, to push it and grind it and give it your absolute all, push it to failure and then push it a little bit further. That's where you're going to get the results. That's where you're going to get muscle building. That's where you're going to push into better results in fat loss. In all these areas is from the ability to push harder. But most people don't have the mental capacity for that. They don't have the drive and the mental toughness to do it. And that's okay that you didn't have that, but it's not okay to continue to not have that. It's like this whole thing, like, what happened to you isn't your fault. If you've had a really shitty life, if you've had a hard fucking life and nothing's gone your way, cool, I'm really sorry that happened to you. That's not your fault. But it becomes your fault when you choose to stay that way. It becomes your fault when you choose not to take action to improve your life. It becomes your fault when you don't do what is required to get out of it. That's why we talk about comfort being the ultimate issue of life. That when you have options, when you have something to fall back on, when you have, comfort, it's really hard to fucking get out of your own way and do that work that is required, to really grind it out and push it out. Good enough is the death of so much potential, of so much greatness, of the things that people want in this life, is good enough. I heard this great one today, and I was talking about it, and they're like, do you know how you make the greatest marksman? You give them one bullet, one shot, one opportunity, no second chances, no backup plan, no nothing. It's this or fucking nothing. When you do that, you'll find out how realistic it is, who you are as a man, how much you have in the tank. There's no other option but to make it happen. Then you discover who you are. That's why we need to play games with ourselves on this, to make it feel like there is no other option. To make it feel like today is the only day that matters. To go out and fucking give it your all. To make sure you don't fucking miss. That you just do the work. That you show up and fucking win every single day. Because that's the other piece of this. That more than anything, you need fucking consistency. More than anything, you need to show up like a man on a fucking mission, day after day after day after day. That is a lot of the results as well. Not just intensity, but consistency. A lot of people will sacrifice consistency for intensity. And intensity matters. Intensity is important, but consistency is even more important. If you can give me intensity for, let's break it down into the micro, of 4 out of 7 days, maybe even 5 out of 7 days, that's fantastic. But if you can give me 7 out of 7 days, if you can truly go all in on it, if you can truly push yourself towards that, well, now we're getting it. And then, if you can add intensity and consistency, now you've got the fucking cheat code. Now you've got the source code to results. Now you've got the source code to building your best life. We keep talking about it that this is a fitness program, but it's really a life-changing program. This is about becoming the greatest version of you. This is about becoming the man that you were meant to be. But fitness is the fucking tool. So let's talk about the fitness. Let's talk about that. But I think a lot of your resentment, your bitterness, your conversations and hate on others comes from the fact that you know you are capable of doing more. You know you should be doing more, and you just aren't. You're just not doing more work. You're just not giving more. And if you could just get out of your own fucking way, if you could just start with the actions that would truly matter, well then, my friend, you would be on the pathway to the life that you want. Because so much of this life comes from not doing the work that we know we should do. What is that one? The magic is on the other side of the work that you're avoiding. That's where it comes from. That's where you need to be. That you don't need another magic pill. You don't need another magic bullet. You don't need another PDF. You don't need another workout program. You don't need another diet. You don't need any of that shit. What you need to do is work. Fucking effort. Effort above all else. And if you get in the arena and you give great fucking effort, you give consistency and intensity, well, most of the other stuff will just fall into place. Most of the other stuff will just come naturally from doing the work, from showing up and winning the fucking day. And the rest will come by nature. And look, if you do that for, let's give it 126 days, say, you go all in, intensity and consistency. You don't fucking miss. You show up every single day and you give it absolutely everything you have. No questions asked. Every single day, you win that day, and all you are focused on every day is winning the day. You don't worry about next week, you don't worry about next month, you worry about fucking today. Did I do the work today? Did I win today? Yes, no, make it fucking binary. That you don't rest until you have won the day. You do that consistently for 126 days, because it takes 126 days to replace a negative habit with a positive habit. And you just keep showing the fuck up like that. You will win. I 100% guarantee that you will fucking win at life. And then if things start to slow, and then if you find that you're plateauing out or things aren't working the way you want them to work, cool. Now let's dial it in. Now let's get into the nuances. Now let's get into the things that really matter. But show me you can work first. Show me you have effort and consistency and will show the fuck up. Show me that you have that capacity before we worry about the little details. We need to nail the big details. We need to nail the habits, the consistency first. We need to nail showing the fuck up every single day. We need to nail those areas first. We can talk in broad spectrums of fitness, of nutrition, of those kinds of things first, because you just need to get fucking good at the basics. And once you are good at the basics, then we can get into the real fancy shit. Then we can get into the stuff that's going to cause real difference in your life. Then we can get into the fun stuff that's, the advanced shit that people want to get to. But until you've mastered the basics of this, none of the rest really matters. None of the rest is going to apply. We are talking the 1% things when you haven't nailed, the 90% things. Let's get on top of the 90% things first. Let's get on top of the basics. Let's get on top of the things that are going to deliver your biggest bang for your buck. And then we can talk about the other stuff. And then we can talk about things that are going to move the needle that 1%. But until you get that, we're fucking around with shit that doesn't matter. And I get those questions all the time because you want to avoid doing the work, and that's why you're bitter. You want to focus on things that don't matter yet. I get questions on supplementation. I get questions on which exercises are best for this. I get questions on, should I be eating this food over this food? Till we get the basics, who the fuck cares? Really, that stuff doesn't matter. Just start. An imperfect plan executed with great fucking effort will topple the perfect plan that isn't executed every single time. I'd rather see you take consistent, imperfect action with great fucking effort than work out all the finer details of it and be waiting around until everything's dialed in. Just fucking do it. Just do something. Results come from effort and consistency more than anything else. Most people will never reach a point where they need the advanced stuff. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's fun to dabble into those things. But overall, it's procrastination by analytics. It's procrastination by focusing on the stuff that, well, really, overall, isn't going to move the needle very much. If you want to start progressing forward, if you want to get out of your own way and get into shape that's going to make a difference, if you want to do things that are actually going to deliver you some great results, here it is in a fucking nutshell. Lift weights every day. Go for a weighted walk with 10% of your body weight every day. Drink 4 liters of water every fucking day. Eat an animal-based diet, aka only eat meat, eggs, and fruit every single day. Take a daily photo every single day. Try and get a good amount of sleep. You fucking nail that. You do that, your physique will change astronomically. And yeah, a lot of people want to talk nuances and they want to talk about different methods and they want to talk about how this works and this is better and there's these studies to back this up. Yeah, a lot of that is fucking true. But for the majority of people, that shit don't matter. For the majority of people, you just need to do some work. For the majority of people, you need to get your mind right to get your physique right. And then we can dig into the details of what specifically is going to deliver better results in these areas and that area. Let's just fucking start with doing some work, getting into the arena. It's not standing on the sideline and talking and jabbering at people who are doing the work. I'd much rather take a man who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing but is in the arena giving effort every single day. I would take him any day of the week over the guy who is a fucking expert and who's on the sideline talking shit to people who are doing stuff. Get in and do things. I guarantee you are overcomplicating it. I guarantee you that you are adding work and complications to things that don't need to be complicated. You just need to be in the arena and doing the work. That's what matters. That's where we start. That's how you progress forward. By just starting. For the majority of people, that's where we begin. Like, if you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, fuck, I've got man tits and my stomach's disgusting. I hate the man in the mirror. I can't play with my children. I can't get down onto the floor. I am a disgrace to my family. I hate who I am. Don't worry about the nuances. Let's just fucking do something. Get into it and begin. Stop sitting on the sideline and avoiding the work. Get in and do it. The magic happens on the other side of the work that you're avoiding. You are overcomplicating it, making it harder than it needs to be. It's the one I always come back to. That this, becoming a disciplined man, becoming a man of your word, becoming the greatest version of yourself is really, really fucking simple. Really fucking simple. It's literally a decision. And a decision executed over and over and over and over again. But it's hard work. It requires effort. It requires consistency. It requires fundamentally changing what's between your ears. It requires you focusing the fuck up and doing what is required. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's simple. It's really simple. And when you stop overcomplicating it, when you stop getting up in your head, when you stop overthinking this, and you just decide, well, I'm going to do the work, and I'll just show up every single day, and I'll get my key factors. Hey, I've just given them to you. And I'll make sure I win the day every single day. You do that, and suddenly everything in your life gets easier. Suddenly everything in your life gets simpler. Suddenly you are seeing results. Consistency and effort. I can't make it any more simple. I cannot break it down to anything more simple and basic than that. Consistency and effort. And literally just doing that, becoming consistent and effort, would probably, in today's world, put you in the top 1%. Just don't fucking miss. Would put you into the top 1%. Like if you look around at your average person, and that comes back to my initial statement, who are bitter, who are complaining, who are saying shit to you, who are resenting you for your results, is because they know what they need to do. They know the work that's required, and they're not fucking doing it. Consistency and effort, above all else, will deliver you so much in this life that you would be shocked. So many great things will come from you just giving consistency and effort. You will achieve so much more than you thought humanly possible because you just showed the fuck up. That's the part that blows my mind more than anything, that the majority of people are not getting the results they want because they just didn't show up. It's not that they didn't have the skills, that they didn't have the opportunities, that they didn't have the ability. They just didn't show the fuck up. They didn't do what was required. They didn't begin the process. That's all that it takes. Just showing up and giving fucking effort consistently. Like, we're not talking rocket science here. We're not talking something that is astronomically complex. No. Consistency and effort. Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing in the gym, great. Get some help. It's all there. I will walk you through it. I will show you there. I'll critique your form. I will make sure that it's done fucking properly. No questions asked. But above everything else, you want to get great results? Consistency and effort. That's it. Like, why do we need to make it this complex thing? Why do we need to argue the semantics of it? For the majority of people, just start there. Just start with consistency and effort, and the results will come. Starts with that. But if you admit that it's that simple, if you admit that that's all that's required is consistency and effort, you are also admitting that the reason why you don't have the life that you want, you're admitting that the reason why you don't have what you want out of this life, the body, the physique, the success, the relationships, the happiness, all that kind of stuff, is quite simply because you weren't willing to do the work. And that's a hard fucking pill to swallow. But it's the greatest pill ever. Because once you admit that, everything's within your control. Because your reality is a direct reflection of your thoughts, your habits, and your actions. So don't like where you're currently at? Don't like where your life is at? Take a hard fucking look at the choices you are making. Question whether they are the right ones and change them. Start making different ones. Start showing up with consistency and effort. And you will change your whole fucking life. We don't need to make this more complex. We just need to get into the fucking trenches and do what is required. After that, everything else will fall into place. After that, you will see great results start coming through. After that, we can start dialing it in. But you must start with consistency and effort, because nothing else will happen until you start with that point. So, if you are ready for that, if you are ready to admit that you are in control and you're ready to give consistent effort, then click the link in my bio. Let's get you into Chasing Greatness Daily. Let's start with just getting you fucking moving, getting you into the process and doing the work that you know you need to do. Let's begin there, and then we can build from there. But I'll hold you accountable. I will make sure you fucking do this work, and then from there we can deliver great fucking results. So if you're ready for that, click the link in my bio, and let's make that a reality. But until then,